Hi, welcome back to Well Mommy Scrapping. I'm Scrapping Amy, and this is Basic Gray Saturday. Today I'm featuring the Eerie collection, and I'm also using sketch number 167 by Susan Stringfellow. I will include a link down below to this sketch. I love it. It's a great way to get two 4x6 photos into one layout easily. So the pictures I have are from Halloween 2019. These are the only two photos that I got from this Halloween. My daughter is now in 6th grade, and we've hit the point where getting pictures is a lot more difficult. I actually didn't take these. A friend of ours did that went trick-or-treating. Elizabeth has gone with, it's the mother of the other two girls that are with her. So when I first purchased Eerie, I got it because it was basic gray, and then it has sat in my collection, in my files for forever, I think it feels like. It was originally printed in 2009. It's 2019. It's been 10 years. And I think the reason I didn't use a lot of this collection was because it is a lot less juvenile. And having a daughter growing up, this was a hard collection to use. But now, middle school, it's becoming a lot easier. So I have used this really pretty purple background, and then it almost looks on screen like a diamond pattern, but up close you can see those look almost like they're eye-shaped, and some of them even have like a pupil in it. The orange paper with the spiders on it, it was the back side of it, so this was one of their two-sided collections. I happen to also have the 6x6 pad for this, and cut out that circular element from the 6x6 pad. I used a vase that I have some supplies in and just flipped it over to the back, traced it with a pencil, and then hand cut it. I guess that's the extent of my fussy cutting for this. I decided I wanted to include washi tape, and I went with the Bella Boulevard paper tape. I have this orange stripe and green chevron, and of course I've already peeled up that orange strip, and I've got to peel up the circular element too, because it's not a layout if I don't peel stuff up. I can't ever seem to get it done the first try. And this orange stripe, of course, I did it too short. Now, the sketch has some other paper layers here. I decided I did not want to use those other paper layers, which is why I went with the washi tape. The two 4x6 photos are actually 4 by 5 3/4. That lets me use the 6x6 pad as a layering element, so I can actually mat the photos with the 6x6. I've got some strips of paper left over that I've put back with my collection. The sticker sheet for this actually had Boo already set, so I was like, great, I'm awful with titles lately, I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And then I decide I'm going to get my the tool with the cornstarch or baby powder or whatever it's in there to get rid of the stickiness, and decide I'm then going to use instead my pens in my hands to get the sticky off. That was not my brightest move, I will tell you, and you'll see shortly I go back to using the non-sticky tool. I do not know what that's called off the top of my head, but I decide I'm going to put the word Boo raised up. That will let me do some layering later on with some of the other stickers in this collection. And there I am using it. I really like this tool. It smells like baby powder. I don't know exactly what's in it. I know in my little pouch that I have that's buried in my corner that I refuse to clean up, I have one that's got cornstarch in it, and so I'm guessing it's cornstarch or talc or something like that. I don't know. But I'm using foam dots that are, I believe, 1/4 inch thick. I like to keep foam dots in a variety of thicknesses. That way I can do layering with things popped up and still have different levels of layers, if that makes sense. And I do end up using these 1/4 inch and then use my 1/8 inch ones as well. So it's time to go through and pull out some other stickers from the sticker sheet. I do not have any other embellishments aside from these stickers. So I have pulled out this 3 stamps to use as a starting point for my embellishment clusters. I don't know why I look at the back of them every single time. I have no clue. This one I'm going to end up putting up on foam as well. So the top is orange with black bats. The one next to the title is black with a creamy ivory colored spider, and then this green one says trick or treat. Now I'm going through and picking up some other embellishments from this sticker sheet. I've gone with some candy corns. I have 3 phrases: creepy, spooktacular, and ghostly. And I end up surprising myself and going with these skulls that look like they should be part of Dia de los Muertos, the way that they are decorated. I go ahead and pull out some spiders too. And I'm looking at those green swirls. I like to do things in 3s. There's only 2 of those, but then there's this really big piece. And I know I want to use that somehow. I think it fits in really well, but it needs words. And I'm like, I don't want to do any hand lettering. I don't want to get small letter stickers to put on it. So I decided I'm just going to stick it down and kind of create as I go along. There I am checking the thicknesses of my foam because I only had 4 tiny squares left on this other sheet. I'm like, I've got to have something. This sheet here is actually has, let me make sure I have the right, yeah, it's 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'm trying to get all the little spots. And what's hard with this one is that there's so many places the ribbon, what it looks like, goes off to. And I end up having to cut some of my foam squares in half so they'll actually fit. I like how that looks. It kind of fits in that little gap above their heads where the sky is. If you can't tell, my daughter is in the middle. She is dressed as Neil Armstrong. She had to do a report for a wax museum project last year, and she wanted to do Neil Armstrong, which I thought was great. And we told her, though, with the amount of money and time we spent on this, putting and making and creating this astronaut costume, that she needed to use it again for Halloween. So she was all for that. So I've put that black skull there. One of the not butterflies. There are no butterflies on this. One of the, I'm blanking, spiders. One of the spiders. Now, as I'm inking this green swirly thing, it comes apart like multiple times. It is very thin and delicate, and I am less than delicate when I'm inking things usually. Somehow I managed to keep this other green swirl all together for the most part until right there, and then I rip it. Doesn't bother me. I'm just going to put it back down. There's enough pattern going on that you can't really see where it's ripped. I end up covering up the area where it's ripped as well. Here I am adding in another green and ivory spider. And then I go ahead and I pull another spider. I find one on the sticker sheet, so I can still have a spider, one spider at least, in each cluster. Oh, here we go. I'm putting some of them up on foam. I've got the black one down at the bottom right with the trick or treat, and then the orange one went with the title. Now I'm realizing that the word creepy will fit on that banner at the top, so I peel stuff back off, ink it all, and put it back down. And then I'm deciding, you know what, these are some older stickers. I mean, like I said, they're 10 years old, and I decided to go ahead and use my liquid adhesive. The liquid adhesive I use is the Art Glitter Glue. I got a 4-ounce bottle from Amazon for, I don't know, $12, $13, and it works really, really well. Once that stuff dries, though, it is done. You aren't moving it. So as long as you're aware that it's not getting moved around, it's a great product. I had trouble getting this word ghostly underneath the 2 things that are raised up on foam, so I went ahead and grabbed my tweezers to help me out with that. And I'm finally sticking down some of the last little bits of stickers, the last of the skulls, the titles, and the candy corns. I wish I actually had more of those candy corns. I would have liked to have included at least 2 or 3 in each cluster, but I used them on another layout that I did of my dog. and his very first Halloween with us. All right. Now, of course, I have to stamp the date, and I actually remember to do this before I put the Nuvo drops on, which is kind of miraculous in my mind since I have been forgetting to do that all the time. And then right here, I am going to start adding the Nuvo drops. So I am using glitter drops this time. I have orange soda, then I use purple rain, and finally I finish it up with golden sunset. Purple rain is a little bit of a brighter color and doesn't quite fit perfectly, but it's also not next to tons and tons of other purple, so it works. So I've got close-up shots coming up next. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will subscribe and join me here on YouTube and also my Facebook group. Links to all of my social media is down below. I hope you guys all have a lovely day. Bye!